Hi guys, I introduction with me. After 30 years, I realize I need to learn English. So I starting my first book, Mary Higgins Clark. We will meet again. So we can start now. Daily 30 minutes for 1 years. Only reading. Okay. So I can start now. ব্লগস ব্লগস শুরুয়াত হচ্ছে এখন। দ্য স্টেট অফ কানেকটিকাট উইল প্রুভ দ্যাট মৌলিক কার পার্টনার্স লাস with the intent to cause the death of her husbands. Dr. Gary Luss did in fact cause his death. That as he sat at his desk, his backs to her, she shattered his sorry skull with a heavy bronze scalpel that she then led him to bless to death as she went upstairs to their bedroom and left asleep. The reporters create behind the defendant skyblade favorably uh, raging out of articles they would have to find in just a couple of hours if they were to meet their deadline. The veteran columnist from Women's News Weekly began in King her usual gushing prose. The trial of Molly Carpenter launched charge with the murder of her husband. Gary opened this morning in the melon destiny of the courtroom in historic Stamford, Connecticut. Media from all over the country were converting the trial. The New York Post reporters was jotting down as description of Molly as appearance nothing in particular how she had dresses for her first day in court. What a knockout he thought a remarkable blend of classy and gorgeous. It was not a combination that he often saw, and especially at the defense table, he noticed how she sat. Tall, almost regal, no doubt some would no doubt some would said defiant. He knew he knew that she was 26. He could see that she was slender, had collar length, dust uh, bond there, that she wrote a blue suit and a small gold carrying. He create He craned, his neck until he could see that she was still wearing her wedding band. He made notes of it as he watched Molly laced, turned and looked around the court- courtroom as through the skirting searching searching for a linear space. For a moment their eyes meet, and he notes that her were blue and her last long and dark. He observed reporter. The observed reporter was writing down impression down his impression of the defendant and the proceeding proceeding. Since his paper was weekly, he could take more time in composing his article. Carpenter Carpenter would look more at home in a country clubs than in a courtroom. Courtroom in a courtroom. He wrote his glance he glanced across the aisles at Grey Lance family. Molly's mother-in-law, the window of the legendary Dr. Jonathan Lance was sitting with her sister and brothers. A thin, the woman's in her 60. She had an expression. That was stony and unforgiving, clearly, if given the chance. She did gladly. She would gladly plants and needle with the lathan those into Molly. The observed reporters through he turned and feared turned it and feared around. Molly parents, a handsome couple in their late 15, looks 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 tend anxiety and anxious and hair stick he notes those words on this pad at 10:30 and 10:30 defense began its opening statements. Their prosecutor the prosecutor has just told you that he will prove Molly Lance guilty beyond a re- reasonable doubts. Ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that the evidence will show that Molly Lance is not murdered. She is, in fact, as much a victim of this terrible tragedy as was her husband. When you have heard all of the evidence in this cause, you will conclude that Molly Carpenter's last meetings on Sunday evening, eighth, last April 8th, shortly after 8 p.m. from a week in her Cape Cold home, that she found her husband Gary sprawled over his desk, and that she put her mouth to his to try to resuscitate him, her to his final grasp, and then realizing he was dead, went upstairs and totally traumatized, fell unconscious on the bed. Quite an attentive Molly sat at the defense table. Their only word, she what they can't hurt me. She was always of the eyes on her, curious and just mental, judgmental. Some of the people she had knows best and the longest has come up to her in the corridor, kissing her cheeks and squeezing her hand. Gina uh, Whitehall, her best friends since their high school years at the Chandran Academy, was once of them. Gina was corporate lawyers now. Her husband Cal was chairman of the board and Lance Hospital and of the HMO Gary had founded with Dr. Peter Black. They have both been wonderful. They have both been wonderful. Molly thought, needing to get away from everything. She had some time stayed with Jane in New York during the past month. It had helps maintain uh, tremendous. Gina and Skal still live in Greenwich. But during the week, Gina frequently overnighted, at Manhattan apartments they kept near UN Plaza. Molly had seen Molly had seen the Blacks in the corridors as well. Dr. Peter Blacks, he always had been so present, pleasant, pleasant to her. But like Grey mothers, he ignores her now, and the friendship between him and Grey dates from their day. In medical school, Molly wonders, Molly wondered, wondered it if Peter would be able to heal Gary's shoes, and as head of the hospital, and whom and the SMO shortly after Grant did death. he he wouldn't say collect collected he wouldn't say collected by board to take over as chief executive officer with with Whitehall as chairman. She sat num, numbly. She sat numbly as their trial actually began. The prosecutor, prosec- prosecutor, the prosecutor began the calling witness as they came and went their sales to Molly to be just burned fresh and voice. They and then Idna Bari and plant 60 years old woman who had been their part-time housekeeper was on was on the stand. I came in an 8 o'clock and on Monday morning as usual. She started Monday morning, 19th April 9th. Yes. How long had you been working for Gray and Molly Lawns? For 4 years, but I would work for Molly mothers from the times Molly was a little girl. She was always so gentle. Molly caught the sympathetic. Molly quotes the sympathetic looks Mr. Berry cast toward her. she does not she does not want to hurt me. Uh, she thought she thought, but she going to tell how she found me, and she knows how it will sound. I was surprised. I was surprised because the lights was inside the house. Mr. Barry was saying, Molly, sweet case, sweet case was in the foyer. So I knew she was back from the cave. Mr. Brady, please describe the layouts of the first floor uh, of the house. The plot is largest. It is really more of the reaction area. While they had large parties, they would serve the cocktails there uh, cocktails there before dinner. Dinner. The living rooms is decently beyond the fire and face the front door. The dining rooms is to the left, down at which halls away from past service bar. The kitchen and family rooms are in that wing as well. While the laboratory, doctor lunch study are in the wings at there and to the right of the entrance. Guys, 20 minutes I reading already, so 10 minutes 10 minutes I need to read. So first day, first reading I book. I know little English, so any mistake, so क्या बोलेंगे, थोड़ा सा भूल त्रुटि होगा तो थोड़ा सा देख लीजिएंगे आप लोग, ठीक है. तो स्टार्ट नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ. I got home early. Molly thought there had not been much traffic on I-95, and I was earlier than I would expect I would expect to be. I only had one bag with me, and I bought it in and put it down. Then I looks the door and called Gary's names. I went directly to the study and to look for him. I went into the kitchen. I went into the kitchen, and Mr. Berry told the prosecutor there were wings, glasses, and a tray of leftover cheese and crackers on the counters. Was there anything unusual about that? Yes, Molly always trivides up when they had a company. What about Dr. Lutz? The prosecutor asks. Edna very smiles into indolence. Well, means he was not much for picking up after himself. The first she fussed and frowned, but that was when I know something was wrong. I thought that Molly must have come and gone. Why would why would she have done that? Molly saw the hesitance in Mr. Berry's face as once again she looks over at her. Mother's was always the little annoyed. 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 Mother was always a little annoyed that Mr. Berry called me Molly and I called her Mr. Berry. But I didn't care. She thought she knows she known she known me since I was a child. Molly hasn't been home when he went in a Friday. The Monday before that. While I was there, she did she would left for the caves. She seems tri- terribly upset. Terribly upset. Upset how? The question comes quickly and abrupt, abruptly. Molly was always of the hospitality, and the prosecutor left for her, but for some reason it did not worry her. She was crying as a speak her bag, and I did I could I could see that she was very angry. Molly that she was very angry. Molly and easygoing per person. It takes a lot to ruffle her in all the years I would work there. I would never once since her so upset. The kept staying. How could he? How could he? I asked. I asked her if three. I asked her if there was anything I could do. So guys, as to totally 6 pages, totally 5 pages were I reading. So I mostly try my best, uh, quickly, fast, and fluently. So bless me always and bless my God. Thank you for watching. Okay, namaste. Next day I got 6 pages and 7. I don't know, 30 minutes I reading regularly and upload. Thank you for watching.